All right, good afternoon, our Google Hangout community and subscribers. Thank you once again for either watching this while it was being aired or watching it later. Um, I just really enjoy looking at some of these documents, and I saw one today that I just wanted to make a video on immediately. Um, okay, so my name is Josh Barnett. I'm a broker associate at Metro First Realty of Edmond. I work with a crew of awesome realtors, and we sell real estate. That's what we do. If you don't know who we are, that's what we do. Well, when you're looking at a lot of the forms that we use, the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission puts a lot of that stuff together for us, which is great. The Oklahoma Real Estate Commission is set up to protect this consumer by the state of Oklahoma and to govern the licenses of real estate practitioners in the state of Oklahoma. And they put out some really good documents. One of these documents I saw today for the first time. Let me zoom in right here so you can see it, is the backup supplement. And I think this is a practice that a lot of sellers aren't practicing today. And there's pros and cons to everything, and everyone has their own biases when it comes to everything. But here's one where if you are under contract and let's say it's contingent upon a home being put on the market and sold, well, the house that you're trying to buy, which you and the seller were able to come to an agreement upon, has a contingency saying if another buyer comes along while they're trying to sell their house to buy your house, if another buyer comes along to buy your house and presents you, the seller, with an offer that meets your expectations in wanting to move forward with that buyer, then that contingency offer that you already have on your house, you let that party know, that buyer know, that there's a offer on the table that you're willing to accept, and they have X amount of time to either move forward with their purchase agreement or just cancel out the purchase agreement so you can work with this new buyer. Well, when you're working with that new buyer, you can now, as a real estate licensee, when you're working with that new buyer for the seller, you can now use this backup supplement. And I really enjoy how these contracts are put together. Once again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, I'm just a licensed broker associate at Metro First Realty of Edmond with Rob Calger. He's my broker. So for legal advice and tax purposes, consult an attorney or an accountant, of course. I'm just going over, as a real estate licensee, the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission's paperwork. So and verify with your own broker everything I say too, but this is an amazing document. So let's just start at the top of the document and let's go through it. So this is the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. This is a legally binding contract. If not understood, seek advice from an attorney. They say the same thing that I just said. Backup supplement. Use this form only when the seller's existing contract is subject to the sale of an existing buyer's property that is not under contract. So this means they're still trying to sell that house and they haven't came under contract yet. But you have a new offer that your seller is willing to accept. So you would put this in there, and this covers you. This protects you and your brokerage a lot better. And it was put out by the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. So they had their immense resources verify all these parts of this before putting it out to the public. So this is a great document to use. Let's continue on. This supplement is attached to and part of the Oklahoma Uniform Contract to Sell a Real Estate between the undersigned buyer and seller. So if they didn't use this specific form, like let's say you're working with a builder and they use the builder form, consult with your attorney, but you may want to one-line this out and and put the title of that builder contract right there. Okay, so keep that in mind, because it's citing the Oklahoma Uniform Contract to Sell of Real Estate. So if you're using a builder contract, then you want to cite the title of that purchase contract. But once again, verify everything I say with an attorney. That's just my thought. Let's go on to clause 1, backup contract. Right there, bold. It says that this is a backup contract. So there's no one trying to point fingers saying they didn't know it was a backup contract. This covers that for you. Buyer acknowledges that the sellers entered into a contract to sell the property, the existing contract, to another buyer, the existing buyer. Buyer and seller acknowledge and agree that this contract, a backup contract, shall not be effective until the seller delivers to the buyer, buyer's broker, if applicable, a copy of the release of contract signed by all parties to the existing contract, or the termination of the existing contract by the terms thereof. This is great. The first clause, I mean, it just lays it out there. It tells you exactly, tells the new buyer exactly what's going on. Number 2, demand for removal of termination condition. Within 24 hours after acceptance of this backup contract, sellers shall demand removal termination condition by the existing buyer pursuant the existing contract. This explains to the buyer what the seller is going to do to start working on possibly working with the new buyer, or telling the other buyer who already has a contract on the house that they need to move forward with their purchase or release the contract. Okay, one of the biggest things that always come up, one of the easiest things that always come up, I won't say it's a big thing, it's just easy, it always comes up, is the earnest money. So here, the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission, in this backup supplement, addresses the earnest money, which is great. The earnest money shall not be deposited until the termination of the existing contract. So it lays it out right there for the buyer's licensee and for the seller's licensee, and for the buyer and for the seller. It explains right there in clause 3, the earnest money on the new contract is not deposited until the termination of the existing contract. This is great verbiage. These are great clauses. Number 4, time periods in the backup contract. The time periods in this backup contract for inspections, title, survey, or mortgage inspection certificate and financing shall be on the time reference date noted on this backup contract, or on the day of the termination of the existing contract, and the time reference date shall be amended to reflect such date. In any event, the closing date shall not be extended unless agreed in writing by the buyer and seller. So it gives you 2 options. This is a really great supplement, and I'm just excited to see these types of documents offered to the public, to the licensees, and to the consumers. This is a great document. Buyer's right to terminate the backup contract. At any time before the termination of the existing contract, buyer may terminate this backup contract by deliver of release of contract signed by the buyer to the seller or seller's broker, if applicable. So if that contingency that the first buyer had turns out to be too long of a process that the new buyer wants to wait around on, or maybe another better house showed up, the buyer can cancel at any time before the termination of the existing contract. So this helps the new buyer make sure that the seller is really working to either make that other offer move forward or cancel out, because this still provides the buyer's right on the new contract, the second buyer, to look at other houses, to not wait around. If they feel that everything's going too slow, they can cancel at any time before the termination of the existing contract. Notice of removal of termination condition. If the existing buyer removes a termination condition under the existing contract, seller or seller's broker, if applicable, shall notify the backup buyer or buyer's broker, if applicable, within 24 hours of removal. So it keeps everybody within a certain timeline. It lets everybody know, hey, They'll have 24 hours to work on this. Seller's release. Oh, I'm sorry. Just release of backup contract. Clause 7. Release of backup contract. If the buyer timely terminates this backup contract as provided in paragraph 5, buyer's right to terminate backup contract, where the existing buyer has removed the termination condition under the existing contract, then this backup contract shall automatically terminate, and the buyer shall be deemed to have released the seller and seller's broker and buyer's broker, if applicable, from any claim, demand, liability, or loss under this backup contract. Earnest money shall be dispersed according to the provisions of the contract. So that's great. I mean, right there it talks about how everything's released. If the first buyer moves forward with their contract, then this backup contract is released. That's what that says. Great document to start using in our real estate transactions here in the state of Oklahoma. Great document. Really excited to see this on OREC's website, the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission's website. Well, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to put this out there and make sure people were aware of it and are able to start using it in their transactions. Great document. If anyone has any questions, feel free to post them here on this video. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find the answer for you and put the source where I found it. As always, if you're thinking about needing to buy or sell a house, give me a call or email me. My email is josh@joshbarnettokc.com. Be more than happy to get to work on helping you buy or sell your house. I work with a great group of buyer reps who are more than happy to make sure that all of our buyers receive 5-star service. And if you're thinking about selling your house, you'll be working directly with me and another representative from the office, so that you always have lots of people available at your disposal. So 405-315-7965. If you want to call with any questions, email josh@joshbarnettokc.com. If you have any questions that you want to email, any direct questions in regards to the backup supplement, just post them here on this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and found it helpful, please be sure to like the video online. If you want to stay up to date with all the Oklahoma Real Estate Channel's updates, just subscribe to our channel. Have a great day, guys. I wish you the best.